Hey, welcome everyone. This is Mike from zozostockwatch.com, and this is going to be your stock watch list and market talk for the 24th of January, Thursday. Stock market squeezes out a gain for the day. It seems like the market is in digestion mode right now. Putting a lot of stocks in no man's land. These are some notes that I just write down to myself. We seem to be like in a waiting mode. Stocks seem to be in a little bit of a limbo state. So the Dow was up 171 points today, and 171 points. A lot of that was in IBM, UTX, United Technologies there, and Procter and Gamble. IBM had reported earnings yesterday. UTX reported this morning, and Procter and Gamble reported this morning also. And they all had good earnings beats, and good forward guidance on those. The S&P 500 was up about 6, and the Nasdaq was up 5 on the Nasdaq. So if you can see the map here, courtesy of FinViz. So we had kind of a mixed bag here for the markets. You had Google up 0.5%. Facebook took a hit down over 2% today. The banks were a little bit sluggish, a little bit mixed in the banks here. Microsoft was up 1% for the day. Amazon was up a little under 0.5%. Comcast, which reported earnings today, that one jumped almost 5.5% on the day for Comcast. And then you go to the oil sector, and a lot of those stocks took a hit today in the oil sector. The consumer goods, we had Coca-Cola, Pepsi up, Apple was up a little bit. Procter and Gamble, like we said, was up quite a bit today, up almost 5% on the day for Procter and Gamble. So a mixed bag. Some stocks in the gaming sector here down 2%. Electronic Arts down over 2% for the day. So that's kind of what the market was today, a mixed bag. Some stocks being rewarded for their earnings, and other stocks losing further ground because of either weak earnings or sales not reaching their goals on like ATVI and Electronic Arts. All right, so some sectors that were up today. We had TAN, the solar sector, up almost 2% on the day. JNUG was up almost 1.5%. The aerospace and defense sector was up a little under 1.5%. Most of that coming from UTX earnings, and that stock moving up. The FXI was up 1% for the day. If we look, we had the Dow Jones up 171. The S&P 500 was up fractionally for the day. The Nasdaq Composite was up fractionally for the day. To the downside, we had the VIX losing steam. Yesterday we closed at with a 20 handle. We're just below that on the close today. The OIH, the oil services sector, down almost 2% on the day. Nat gas moved down today. The marijuana ETF was down almost 1%. The MJ, the cannabis ETF, the transports were down today. Amazon coming out with some news that they're going to be doing their own deliveries, and they have a robot that's going to make deliveries. So we had FedEx and UPS getting hit by Amazon today in the markets. The Dow Jones, the transports here were down 87 points for the day. That's the airlines. The IBB down over 0.75%. Oil was down 0.75%. That's light sweet crude oil, closing at $52.62 per barrel. The SMH was down slightly today, a little under 0.5% for the SMH, and the IWM was down fractionally for the. So your top sectors for today, we had the consumer staples up. The XLP was up over 1%. The XLU, the utilities, kind of defensive here, right? Most of this was Procter and Gamble, although Coca-Cola had a nice move today, and Pepsi. But the XLP was up over 1%. The utilities up 1%. The XLK, the technology sector, was up fractionally for the day. To the downside, we had the XOP, see the oil exploration ETF that was down almost 1.75%. The XBI, the biotech ETF, was down 1.33% for the day. And as you can see, everything else was down fractionally in the sector. Here are your three big winners for today. IBM up over 8%. You had UTX up over 5%, and Procter & Gamble up almost 5% for the day. These are the Dow 30 stocks. The worst stock in the Dow today was the oil stocks, the CVX and the XOM. Top stocks for today, Comcast CMCSA was up 5.5%, and Team was actually up over 2% for the day. Square was up almost 2% for the day. Baidu up 1.75%. Starbucks climbing today 1.5%. Okta had a good strong day, up over 1%. Roku was up over 1%. MU was up over 1%. To the downside, TTWO, another stock in the gaming sector, and Whirlpool down 5%. TTWO down 7%. Twitter took a hit today, down almost 4% for the day, and Qualcomm was down almost 5% for the day. Tesla down almost 4% for the day. Everything else down about 1%, 2% on the day. So let's go ahead and look at the SPY. A lot of the market charts look like this. So you see what I'm saying. We're kind of in this limbo area right now. We have the SPY battling around the 50 SMA and the 10 SMA. Let me get rid of these lines for you so you can see it better. There you go. So we have the SPY holding above the 10 SMA right now, closing above the 5 EMA, and holding above the 50 SMA. Bears are trying to break us down below this 260 level, but the dip buyers continue to show up after this big run up. So we're in this kind of digestion consolidation right now, which is actually good for the bulls, I would say, right? After this big run up, we're not getting any big pushes down to the downside here, and we are holding, the bulls are holding the 10 SMA and not giving up too much ground as we consolidate. Now, I don't know if that's going to hold for tomorrow, and this is while the government is still shut down. We have that battle going on between Pelosi and Trump, and we also have the trade wars still going on between the United States and China. So the market, you would say, pretty much holding up and consolidating at the moment on the and basically the same thing on the Qs. We're holding this 160 level, trying to get back above this 165 level, holding the 50 SMA, holding the 10 SMA, and trying to hold above the 5 EMA, the yellow dotted line you see there. So that's a couple of the markets that we'll look at. Let's go ahead and take a little look at some of the news that came out after the bell tonight, courtesy of the Trade Exchange. So we did have some earnings come out, and we are in a full earnings season now. TXN was an earnings per share beat and revenue miss for TXN. So that's in the semiconductor space. So that stock, they pushed it down, popped it up, kind of just flat right now on TXN. Let's see what other, we had other earnings. CP had earnings after the bell. It's Canadian Pacific. It's a railroad. Earnings per share and revenue beat. That stock ticking up in the after hours. TXN out with some comments after the bell. So you can pause the video and read that for yourself. We also had LRCX earnings per share beat. This is also a semiconductor name. They beat by 20 cents. Revenue beat on this name. They also announced a $5 billion share buyback. LRCX Lam Research, a $5 billion share repurchase authorization on that one. We had Xilinx XLNX earnings per share beat and revenue beat XLNX. So this should help the semiconductor space tomorrow. So we closed around this $90 area, and they're pushing it up to $98. So that's having a big move in the after hours tonight. XLNX on their revenue beat. Ford earnings per share For Ford, earnings per share miss by 2 cents and revenue beat for Ford. So a little bit of a tug of war going on in Ford in the after hours. CMRE, earnings per share beat by 1 cent, revenue beat, CRME. That stock ticking up a little bit. This is a shipping and logistics company, CMRE. Let's see, what else do we have come out after the bell for tomorrow? TER beat by 14 cents, beat on revenue, TER. So that stock climbing in the after hours, up at around $34.50. This is another semiconductor name. So another beat here for the semiconductors. Let's just take a quick look and see if NVIDIA is moving up at all. Holding up in the after hours, and Intel has earnings coming up on tomorrow after the bell. So that stock is up in the after hours. Another semiconductor name, maybe moving since those earnings came out from those other semiconductor names. All right, so that's some of the news that came out after the bell tonight, courtesy of the Trade Exchange. So every morning in my room at around 8:30, 8:45, we go through pre-market prep for about 40 minutes or so. And Workday was one that we talked about. We lined the charts. We were actually watching Workday all day yesterday. Well, we got a beautiful trade out of Workday, so preparation paid off. So Workday, we traded this over 172.25, and the stock moved up to 176 today. So almost a $4 move in Workday. That was one of the trades that we did in the service, and you can see how we were talking about it, and we put the level to watch right in the room, and we also announced the alerts on the microphone in the service. Now, we're not just an alert service. We're also an education service too. So we talk through all these trades on the microphone. We walk you through them. We give you step by step. We talk about them. Each day we do a Q&A at 11:15. So BOXL was another one that we had on our watch list. We even talked about it on the video here last night. And Boxel over 255 yielded a big, nice, strong move on BOXL. So nice move there. JD.com gave us a nice trade. We also traded AMD. Another one that we did later in the afternoon on MBOT. We traded MBOT on the break of 10:05 right here on this move up. Now, we didn't catch this. We let it consolidate a little bit. And as you can see, looking at this 5-minute chart, right, $10 was a resistance area. We finally broke through it, and we got a move up all the way to $12. Now, I did not get that whole move up to 12. I peeled it off coming up to about $11. That was good enough for me. And so MBOT yielded us a very nice trade. So overall, a very nice day in the service. Come check us out at zozostockwatch.com, and let's go ahead and get into that watch list for tomorrow. By the way, the futures right now, the Dow futures are down about 39 points, S&P futures down 5, NASDAQ futures down about 10 points at the moment. It's about 2 minutes to 7 my time, so early in the session, but the futures are leaning towards the downside. And each Sunday we do a Let's Get Ready for the Week video, but I just want to go over with you the earnings before the bell tomorrow. You have American Airlines, you have Southwest Airlines, JetBlue, Bristol Myers will be reporting tomorrow before the open. After the bell tomorrow, we have Intel, Intuitive Surgical, and WDC, Western Digital. All right, so some names I'm going to be watching for tomorrow, and we've been talking about Ameren all week, and we actually traded this in the service yesterday for some nice moves. So Ameren will be on watch. Watch this $18 area on AMRN, Ameren. AOSL, a big pop today. Volume was a little bit light on this one, though, only 252,000 shares. It moved from 10 to about $12. So that one moving up, but not in love with that one. Blue Apron. Keeping an eye on this one, has that $1.55 area up ahead. So keeping an eye on this, APRN. BLNK gave a nice trade today for the service. So we'll have this one on watch. A volume over 4 million shares. Has that 250 number up ahead. We'll see if it sets up intraday. BOXL will be on watch again today. It popped up, as you can see with BOXL. It likes to make moves up above the 200 SMA. Then it gives it right back. We'll see if it sets up again on for tomorrow. CMSA, which had earnings today, a big move up. We'll see if there's any kind of a continuation move in CMSA. The high on this stock today was 37.42, so we'll see if it sets up intraday. INPX, this one moving up a little bit in the after hours. The volume 1.3 million. Now, I'm not in love with this, but I've seen a lot of these stocks that have been smashed down trying to make these turns back up. So kind of a back burner idea on that one. IQ, a China name, is trying to get above this recent high back on Friday, the 18th. The high there was 1890. So maybe over this today's high, 1865, and then the next move would be 1890. So watch this one over 1870, and then wanted to break through that 1890, $19 area. Coca-Cola had a strong day today. Earnings for Coca-Cola are on the 14th of February. So this one will be on watch. Coca-Cola as the staple names got some buying. MTCH also big move up here, coming up to that $50 area. I'm thinking maybe it gets resistance here after this nice move up. Maybe 50 is a resistance spot on this name. So actually watching this MTCH for a short on that name. RHE popped up, recently did a 1 for 12 reverse split, 2 million shares, popped up. Let's see if it's doing anything after hours. Not really. So maybe this one, if it gets up over the highs from today, $1.50 RHE. Riot was having a strong close. Now, there's really not much going on in Bitcoin that I've seen. It's still below 4,000 on Bitcoin, but they were popping this Riot up today, so I'll have my eye on it. SPI, a solar stock that had a very strong day. This is a China name. Big, strong day, almost 6 million shares. So we'll see if this one has anything left in the tank for tomorrow. Intraday, TER, like I said, they reported earnings. Big pop up. We'll see if I can get a setup in this Teradyne on this name. And then lastly, keep your eye on this Wing. Keeps battling with 69.50 and that $70 area. If it can get up and hold above 69.50, maybe we get that push up through 70 on WING. McDonald's has been strong. So this one's had a strong move. McDonald's, so maybe Wing wants to make a move also. So keep an eye on that. All right, so that's the stock watch list and market talk for the 24th of January. Hope everybody has a good day trading tomorrow. Please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Hit the bell notifier and it'll send an email every time we do a new video. This is Mike, and thank you for the support of the channel. Have a good day trading. And once again, my site is zozostockwatch.com. Come check us out. $30 for 30 days. The link will be provided for you in the description box.